Hello and a very warm welcome to this special edition of Rajya Sabha Television Question Hour, where we bring you important questions asked by the members of the Rajya Sabha and the answers given by the government. I'm Kriti Mishra, and joining me is my colleague Vishal Thaya.
Well, thank you, Kriti. And just like every other day, we'll bring you some important questions and their answers as well. So, Kriti, let's begin with the first question. And the first question is from the member Vijay Pal Singh Tomar, and this is for the Ministry of Defence. Mr. Tomar goes on to ask the government whether it is a fact that incidents of honey trap for spying purpose is continuously increasing in armed forces, and if this is the case, then whether government is considering to take any preventive measures on this aspect.
Well, the government has negated this, and the government goes on to say that the incidence of honey trap for spying purpose is not continuously increasing in armed forces. Service personnel and their families are regularly sanitized on the use of honey traps as a modus operandi by foreign intelligence operatives. Advisories have been issued to all concerned. Special attention is being paid to new entrants in training institutes. Simultaneously, regular intelligence liaison with other agencies is maintained to detect such attempts. That was a very interesting question, Vishal.
Well, yes, indeed, and there have been some cases in the past. That is why it seems the members were curious to know whether these cases are increasing or they've been contained.
Absolutely. Moving on to the next question, and this one has been asked by member GC Chandrasekhar, and this question pertains to the Ministry of Rural Development, and he has asked whether government implements various schemes under National Social Assistance Program.
Well, the concerned ministry has given an answer in affirmative to this question, and it says that the government implements various schemes like Indira Gandhi National Old Age Pension Scheme, the Indira Gandhi National Disability Pension Scheme, and Indira Gandhi National Widow Pension Scheme under National Social Assistance Program, that is NSAP, for the persons belonging to below poverty line households. Now, under the above schemes, the targeted beneficiaries are provided with monthly central assistance ranging between 200 rupees to 500 rupees depending on age of the beneficiary and category of the pension. Well, the next question is to the Ministry of Water Resources, River Development and Ganga Rejuvenation, and this one is from the member D. Kupendra Reddy. The question is whether it is a fact that availability of water in many regions of the country is way below the national average and are considered as water-stressed or water-scarce region.
The government goes on to say that the average annual water potential in the country has been assessed as 1,869 billion cubic meters. Due to topographical and other factors, the utilizable water availability is limited to 1,137 BCM per annum, comprising of 690 BCM of surface water and 447 BCM of replenishable groundwater. The average annual water availability of any region or country is largely dependent upon hydrometeorological and geological factors and is generally constant. However, water availability per person is dependent on population of the country, and for India, per capita water availability in the country is reducing progressively due to increase in population. The average annual per capita water availability in the years 2001 and 2011 was assessed at 1,816 cubic meters and 1,545 cubic meters respectively, which may reduce further to 1,340 and 1,140 in the years 2025 and 2050 respectively. Annual per capita water availability of less than 1,700 cubic meters is considered as water-stressed condition, whereas annual per capita availability below 1,000 cubic meters is considered as water scarcity condition. Due to high temporal and spatial variation of precipitation, the water availability of many regions of the country is much below the national average and may result in water stress or scarce conditions.
Well, quite a detailed answer, Kriti, there from the ministry to this particular question.
Right, Vishal. Moving on to the next question, and this one has been asked by member Ravi Prakash Verma, and this question is for Ministry of Water Resources, River Development and Ganga Rejuvenation. And Mr. Verma has asked whether, as the recent report of Central Pollution Control Board, only 1 out of 39 locations through which Ganga flows had clean water in the post-monsoon period, during 2018.
Well, once again, the Water Resources Ministry has given a detailed answer to this question, and the ministry says that the Central Pollution Control Board, that is CPCB, had carried out biological water quality monitoring at 41 locations along main stem of River Ganga from Haridwar Barrage, Uttarakhand to Garden Reach, West Bengal during pre-monsoon period, April to June 2017, and 39 locations during post-monsoon period from December 2017 to March 2018. A draft report based on preliminary bio-monitoring study was prepared on the basis of biological parameters using benthic macroinvertebrates as indicator organisms following biological water quality criteria, that is BWQC. The ministry further says that the first round of monitoring was conducted in 2014-15 to formulate standard operating procedures as well as understand the baseline status. And depending on the findings of 2014-15, similar exercises were carried out during 2015-16 to validate the findings and classify the river water quality status using the biological water quality criteria developed by CPCB based on combination of internationally accepted parameters, that is saprobic score and diversity score. However, BWQC has not been notified by the government. BWQC is qualitative criteria rather than quantitative, and making any inference on qualitative assessment requires detailed collaboration with physico-chemically quality findings, also with the quantitative parameters monitoring. The next question is for the Ministry of Science and Technology, and this one is from the member Narayan Lal Pancharia, and he goes on to ask the government whether it has any information regarding Indian scientists returning to India, and also whether there has been any increase or decrease in the number of Indian scientists who are returning to work in India.
Well, the government is aware of the fact that many Indian scientists are returning to India through different schemes, programs of the government. The Indian origin scientists returned to India has increased to 649 in number in the year 2012 to 17 as compared to 243 in the period 2007 to 12. The increase of number of Indian scientists returning to India is primarily due to proactive schemes and programs instituted by the Government of India. Department of Science and Technology through Ramanujan Fellowship Scheme and the Innovation in Science Pursuit for Inspired Research Faculty Scheme and Department of Biotechnology through Ramalingam Swamy Re-Entry Fellowship provide attractive avenues and opportunities to Indian researchers of high caliber who are residing in foreign countries to work in Indian institutes, universities of their respective interests and domain. In addition to a short fellowship and research grant for a period of 5 years for the scientists, provision to seek other competitive research grants from the government made these schemes more attractive and popular. Well, the next question has been asked by member Derek O'Brien, and this question pertains to the Ministry of Drinking Water and Sanitation. And Mr. O'Brien has asked about the percentage of schools in India which have separate toilets for girls.
Well, the Ministry of Drinking Water and Sanitation has given a specific answer to this question, and it says that according to the UDISE data, that is Unified District Information System for Education for 2016-17 maintained by the Department of School Education and Literacy, 98.07% of government schools in the country have separate toilet for girls and 96.54% have functional toilets for girls. The next question is for the Ministry of Youth Affairs and Sports, and this one is from member Kanta Kadam. She goes on to ask the ministry whether there is a shortage of national and international level women umpires or referees in various fields of sports in the country.
Well, that's a very interesting question, and equally interesting is the answer. The government goes on to say that umpiring and refereeing is part of technical conduct of sporting events in different sports disciplines. The national level sports federations, which govern their respective sports disciplines, are mandated with and are responsible for technical aspects of such sports disciplines, including development, arrangement of technical officials such as umpires and referees. The government does not have any direct involvement on technical aspects of sports, and hence this information is not maintained by the ministry. However, at present the ministry has no evidence that would suggest that shortage of sports schools and sponsors for women games are the main causes of the shortage of women coaches or trainers. The schemes being implemented by the ministry and other bodies under its aegis are gender neutral and equally applicable to both men and women sports persons. However, under the Khelo India scheme implemented by the Sports Ministry, there is a dedicated vertical of sports for women, wherein emphasis is laid on such sports disciplines where there is less participation of women, so that more number of women will participate in such sports disciplines.
So, well, Kriti, these were the questions and answers in this section of the question hour for our viewers.
Prashnikal with our colleagues Arvind Kumar Singh and Akhilesh Suman on the other side. Stay tuned to Rajya Sabha TV.